So Ashwini, incredible talent base, fastest growing major economy in the world, an AI player, but clearly in the second grouping that Kristalina is talking about, have to think about alignments with the United States or China to a degree, but how much do you have to think about that as a country like India? How much can you chart your own course irrespective of what the Americans and Chinese are doing?
Actually, clearly in the first group, and the reason for that is there are 5 layers in the AI architecture. The application layer, the model layer, the chip layer, the infra layer, and the energy layer. We are working on all the 5 layers, making very good progress in all the 5 layers. On the application layer, we will probably be the biggest supplier of services to the world. Go to an enterprise, understand the business of enterprise, understand the working of that enterprise, and provide that service using AI applications. That's going to be the biggest factor of success or successful deployment of AI, because that's where ROI comes from. ROI doesn't come from creating a very large model. 95% of the work can happen with models which are 20 billion or 50 billion parameters. We are creating a bouquet of such models. We already have. We already have a bouquet of such models which are now being deployed in multiple sectors to increase the productivity, to increase the efficiency, to increase the effective use of technology. So our focus is very much on making sure that AI diffusion happens in a very big way. And I don't know what the IMF criteria has been, but Stanford places India as third in terms of AI penetration, in terms of AI preparedness. AI talent, it is number 2. So I don't think your classification in the second bouquet is right. It's actually in the first.
So talk about in India, in an environment where the AI shifts in geopolitics are happening so quickly. Again, this was a conversation that didn't even exist at the World Economic Forum 5 years ago. And you now have radically different capabilities in different countries around the world. India has become a geopolitical player in its own right in the last 10 years. Didn't even want to play geopolitics before Modi came in. How does AI play into that capacity around the world, into what India wants to be on the global stage?
Listen, if you look at the way AI is shaping geopolitics, what can a country which has a very large model, let's say, without taking any names, can it switch off that model? Fair, switch it off. What will happen to a country like India? We have our own bouquet of models which can be used for 95% of the work that we require to do. So, does creating a large model give you a geopolitical power? I don't think so. It might actually be causing certain conditions where the people who are creating those large models might go bust in the coming years. You never know. They might go bankrupt in the coming years. The situation is, we have to understand the economics of this new, I call it 5th industrial revolution. We must see the economics of the 5th industrial revolution. The economics of this 5th industrial revolution is going to come from ROI. ROI is going to come from deploying the lowest cost solution to get the highest possible return. If you have a 50 billion parameter model, you can deploy it using 1 GPU. And if you have a 30 billion parameter model, which is absolutely good for 80% of your work, you don't even require a GPU. Where is the geopolitical thing in that? You have a large number of CPUs working in the entire world, and people are coming with custom silicon from amazing number of companies and countries where you wouldn't require to be dependent on any particular country. So that the so-called geopolitical edge that you are probably hinting at is not there.
So Ashwini, when you think about how AI can be used, I mean, technology, India already did an incredible job with the Aadhaar. Suddenly, you're able to bring public services to people, and you're improving growth and you're improving their per capita income without actually blowing out the budget. What can AI do? How are you deploying AI to further that message? How fast are we going to see it? Where are we going to see it?
Absolutely. Every sphere of life and economy, we are focusing on diffusion of AI. And in a very systematic way. So, okay, what is the biggest constraint? The biggest constraint is availability of GPUs. How do you solve that constraint? To solve that constraint, we decided to have a public-private partnership in which we empaneled 38,000 GPUs, which are a common compute facility available to the entire population. Unlike in many rich countries where the big tech basically controls the access to GPU, we decided to create a public-private partnership in which the common compute facility is enabled by the government and subsidized by the government so that entire population, all the students, researchers, startups, they all get access to it. And the cost is practically 1/3 of the cost in most other countries. That is first. Second, having a set of free, a bouquet of models which basically meet most of your needs. Third, making sure that people understand this technology, learn this new technology. Already we are going through a program for 10 million people to be trained on AI skills. Four, making sure that the IT industry, which is a very significant industry in our country, pivots in a very systematic way towards providing services to Indian companies as well as to the global companies using AI as a very effective enabler of efficiency, a multiplier of productivity in any operation that they do. So that's a very systematic way we are moving.
Okay, last comment before I go to a couple of questions. Ashwini, I wanted to say, I know that you and the way you think about regulation and governance in India are not just thinking about the laws that you're creating, but also how you use the technology to actually create and implement. I'm wondering if you could share just a moment on that with the audience.
Absolutely right. In case of technologies like AI, it's very important to have a techno-legal approach to regulation. It cannot be just a law that you pass and believe that everything will fall in place. You have to create technical tools and technologies to counter the harmful effects of, for example, bias, as Khalid said. For example, detecting deep fakes with an accuracy which can be taken to a court and be properly judicially checked. So those kind of things you require techno-legal approach. We are following techno-legal approach, creating solutions which mitigate bias, which help in detecting deep fakes, which make sure that unlearning can be done properly before you deploy a model in an enterprise. So those kind of technologies we are developing.